of enemy propaganda rolling across the picket line. Lay down, GI, lay down, GI. We saw it all through the 20th century. And now in the 21st century, it's time to stand up and realize that we should not allow ourselves to be crammed into this rat maze. We should not submit to dehumanization. I don't know about you, but I'm concerned with what's happening in this world. I'm concerned with the structure. I'm concerned with the systems of control. Those that control my life and those that seek to control it even more. I want freedom. That's what I want. And that's what you should want. It's up to each and every one of us to turn loose of just some of the greed, the hatred, the envy, and yes, the insecurities, because that is the central mode of control. Make us feel pathetic, small, so we'll willingly give up our sovereignty, our liberty, our destiny. We have got to realize that we're being conditioned on a mass scale. Start challenging this corporate slave state. The 21st century is going to be a new century. Not the century of slavery, not the century of lies and issues of no significance and classism, statism, and all the rest of the modes of control. It's going to be the age of humankind standing up for something pure and something right. What a bunch of garbage, liberal, Democrat, conservative, Republican. It's all there to control you. Two sides of the same coin. Two management teams bidding for control, the CEO job of Slavery Incorporated. The truth is out there in front of you, but they lay out this buffet of lies. I'm sick of it, and I'm not going to take a bite out of it. Do you got me? Resistance is not futile. Humankind is too good. We're not a bunch of underachievers. We're going to stand up, and we're going to be human beings. We're going to do real things, the things that matter. Creativity and the dynamic human spirit that refuses to submit. Well, that's it. That's all I got to say. It's in your court.
Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
That was a 2.5-minute clip from my appearance in the 2000 award-winning Richard Linklater and Tommy Pilata film, Waking Life. Thank you for joining us today. Paul Velte's coming up in the next hour to discuss the vicious attacks on the Second Amendment. I've got world news, health news, climate and energy, Israel, Iran, Middle East news, war on terror news. But right now, college is in. We are breaking down the anatomy of a high-tech brainwashing disinformation nightline piece. 7 million people conservatively watched this as their lead story last night. They did a few minutes on the hurricane and then cut straight to this. Then they went to Tony Blair and his admissions after that. And I'm going to go ahead and start playing this clip. I'll be stopping it throughout. I've already analyzed the basic disinformation tactics they used, but then I'm going to stop and, again, point each one out. And people know this about mainstream corporate media. They understand the agenda. People instinctively know how much they twist and spin and lie. So 10 years ago, when they could get away with this more, when people were just starting to really wake up and change their paradigm, it would just be brazen. A total straw man. And we still see some of those tactics. 2 hours after Poplawski kills 3 cops, the guy hates me. He's a white supremacist attacking me all over the web. I didn't know who he was, but later we found out. And they lied and said Alex Jones, made him do it. And I forced 5 newspapers to retract. Okay, I sent them letters, and I said, look, here he is on his website and other white supremacist sites attacking me. You know he didn't do this for me, and you know that this was put out within 2 hours of them arresting him. How dare you? And they retracted. So they still do brazen straw man type stuff, trying to sick the police and IRS on me. The Statesman, New York Daily News, implied that I supported Stack attacking flying his airplane in the building here in Austin. I was on air within 1 hour and 10 minutes of that happening. It happened at about 9:55. I was on air at 11. So about an hour and 5 minutes later, and I said, you watch, they're going to blame it on me. This is horrible. I'm against violence. And an hour after that, by the noon hour, so 2 hours and 5 minutes later, there were already blogs making fun of me. Look, Alex is saying this about himself. He's saying they're going to blame him. What a kook. And within minutes of that, there was already mainstream articles saying that I basically loved it and was encouraging it. I know how they operate, okay? I know what they're up to. All I do is study them. You know what your favorite football team's going to do. you've been watching them for decades, or you love a coach, and you most of the time can judge what play they're about to run, and you sit there in your house drinking beer, eating pizza, saying, look, Bob, I told you he was going to run the split wedge shotgun or whatever it is. It's the same thing. All of you can figure this out if you just start studying how they operate. So people know they spin and lie, but now they're not as brazen. They do it in a lot of different ways. And so they just imply I'm sitting around going, the government's poisoning the water. The government wants world government. You know, Jones has no proof. He's just saying this. And very telling how ABC anchorman interviewing me said, oh, I'm not going to even give you that a world government's being formed. Counting on his viewers, hoping his viewers haven't read the thousands of mainstream articles admitting world government's here, run by private international banks, exactly as we said it would form, and run by the exact people we said would form it, because we were reading their own white papers. And I've used this analogy many, many times, but it'd be like if my wife liked a television show, and she told me, this show is coming on Monday night at 8. And then the show came on, and I said, my gosh, honey, you're a genius. How did you know this was coming on at 8 o'clock? Because it's in the TV guide. I mean, that's what... I mean, the Rockefeller Foundation in '68 said we'll develop vaccines to sterilize people. In '88, they said we've got a tetanus shot with a hormone added that'll sterilize women. Then by 1995, through a UN program, Rockefeller funded, they were caught doing it in 3 continents: Asia, Africa, and South America. I mean, open and shut, done, caught, red-handed. Red-handed. And now, because we're exposing them, they're coming out going, yeah, we do want to sterilize you. It's for the earth. Yeah, we do want to add stuff to the water to make you calm and make you happy and make you be passive and go along with what we're saying. So you're literally hooked into a brainwashing system when you just sit there drooling watching television. And that's who they want. They want their audience that just sits there on Prozac or sits there on drugs or whatever they're doing, or drunk, just accepting whatever ABC says. They're hoping you're not conscious. We're saying be conscious. Watch everything. Learn about these tactics. What is my tactic? As I say in the piece, everybody's got an agenda. I teach my son that. Mine is liberty, freedom, and the truth. And I just frontal assault, forget the maneuvers, I go straight at them with the truth, with historical, societal information. And then you make a decision about what you want to do. Okay, I'm going to stop and start this a few times, but here is the Nightline piece that 7 million people watched last night. Here it is.
If you were to stand on a street corner hollering that the government is poisoning our water supply, you'd probably get little more than eye rolls and head shakes. But do the same thing in a radio booth, you might just get 1 million listeners a day. Such is the case for Alex Jones, a man who trades in...
Okay, back it up a few seconds. So again, if I say to you, red bicycle, what do you image in your mind? A red bicycle. If I say blue whale, what do you image? A blue whale. If I say giraffe, what do you image? A giraffe. If I say Bengal tiger, what do you see? A Bengal tiger in your mind's eye. It images it. If I say 747, what do you image? A large passenger jet. If I say Colorado, what do you image? Mountains. His image that he puts in your mind is of a person with a scraggly beard with mustard stains down their front, screaming, the end of the world is near, drooling. If you stand on a street corner yelling, you know, the government's poisoning the water, you're a kook. But if you're doing it and you're Alex Jones, see, they're all about imaging. They don't like it that I'm sitting here in a decent studio, well-spoken,